Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Chelsea News here on Football Therapy with me, your host Jan, and I hope, friend, you're doing well. Really do hope that. Namaste, welcome and bienvenue, to comment, all that kind of stuff, mate. Chelsea, we're in a good space right now. Thomas Tuchel has reached every cup final he's been in since arriving at Chelsea. It's been less than a year, officially a few days less than a year, and he's reached the FA Cup final, the Champions League final, the League Cup final. It's not even been a year, mate. Won the Champions League, won the Super Cup. You know, he could win the Club World Cup. It's like we'd be favourites to do. Could win the League Cup if it's like, you know, it's one more game. That's like, that's a lot of trophies. Anyway, I'm feeling good. I hope you are too. We're going to talk about transfers, contract stuff. You know, the updates, the Chelsea news updates like we do every single day here on Football Therapy. That was weird. And if you think you might enjoy that, please do consider subscribing. You're all welcome to sub. It's just a click of a button. And please do consider turning on all notifications. And if you want to show some sweet love, please do drop a like, mate. It does help me out. It does. It's just a second clicking like. So let's start off. Ooh, where should we start off? Let's start off with Tuchel's comments on Antonio Rudiger. Then we're going to talk about Kennedy being recalled. Yes, we are. We're going to talk about a bit of Usman Dembele and Andreas Christensen as well. If we have time, if we fancy it, we might talk about Malang Sarr playing down that left-hand side. Let's start off, though, with Antonio Rudiger, man of the match last night officially. Away at Spurs, had an incredible stats actually. Sky Sports on the coverage showed all of his stats. He was pretty darn mental. Like, he had the best passing in the game, the most touches, obviously the clean sheet in the goal. I think he had some shots and creative passes and won duels and stuff. He was a man mountain in that game. He said in the post-match interview he feels he's playing the best football of his career. Thomas Tuchel was interviewed afterwards and sounded pretty confident. I've actually reported previously on a video a few days ago about how it's looking like good news in terms of the reports that I was reflecting on here on Football Therapy, pretty much inferring that he is likely to stay. Of course, you got people like Christian Falk, the German journalist, saying things, you know, from Sport Bild and stuff, saying that he's very happy now and it's looking promising. Let's read this extraction from Simon Johnson's piece from The Athletic post-match yesterday. Just a paragraph to give you further context. Rudiger rejected Chelsea's only official offer so far, of 140k a week in August. And bearing in mind, for additional context, he's currently on 90, so that is over 50% pay increase with a 60k on top. I know it's not, it's 50k, it's 50k, it's over 50%, you know what I mean, he's gone up from 90 to 140, Jesus, why do I have to complicate things? We can always, and it's been pretty quiet ever since in terms of negotiations, so it was fair enough to put Tuchel and Rudiger, excuse me, God, easy for me to say, that Rudiger will be a hard man to replace should Chelsea fail to agree an extension. Tuchel responded this: "There is a lot of ifs in your question, so let's see what becomes the reality," he replied. "We have confidence to keep him, and have things to offer. He is the player he is in a Chelsea shirt, and in the Chelsea environment. He knows that very well." Great words from Thomas Tuchel there, pretty much reiterating a lot of stuff that I've said recently here on Football Therapy, that Rudiger knows. He's elevated, he's ascended to this level because of the manager, because of the club, because of the situation. It's the perfect mix. He will get paid well at Chelsea. Like, Chelsea don't pay players badly. You know, we might not pay insane money like PSG, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and often Man City. They pay, you know, their top players more than us. And of course, Man United pay crazy money as well. But we're up there. We're absolutely up there. You know, there's the Chelsea. Remember, you know, Chelsea, and you know the poor and homophobic chant Chelsea rent boys. I think actually it was all sort of originated more, you know, not to be a homophobic chant against gay people, but to be more just you know, Chelsea just mercenaries. Do you know what I mean? Still an unpleasant chant nonetheless. And Chelsea are notorious for paying a lot of money, so I think You know, I think he'll get a lot of money, mate. Anyways, positive news, I think. I genuinely thought he was gone. I'm starting to think he will stay. So we'll have to see what happens there. He won't, look at him, man. He's playing the best football of his life. The fans sing his name. He's challenging at the highest level. One of the best teams in Europe. Definitely the top sort of 4 teams in Europe. Easily, I think. And I don't think he'd want to give that up, personally. His only concern might be if Thomas Tuchel doesn't last at Chelsea, and, you know, in terms of average tenure under Roman Abramovich at Chelsea, he's already done 66% of the average tenure, so, you know, we'll have to see what happens there, friends. Before we talk about Usman Dembele and stuff, let's talk about Andreas Christensen briefly. He's, of course, still yet to sign. I'm reading this off Cy Phillips's Twitter. Dortmund deals intensively with Andreas Christensen. A contract extension at Chelsea is not completely off the table, but is considered unlikely. He's quoted that from another journalist called Patrick Berger, who works for Sport. So that is pretty, you know, whether we are to believe that or not, I don't know, but that's pretty depressing. That's saying that is inferring that it's unlikely he extends with Chelsea. We know the thing is with Andreas Christensen, he's been a target for elite football clubs for a long time. Matt Law was speaking about this a few years ago. Like, Barcelona really like him because he's not a heavyweight defender, but he's a good defender. He's intelligent with his movement. He's good with his feet. He does win aerial duels. He's not going to muscle you loads, but he's good at winning aerial duels. He's good at passing the ball, and he's good at positioning himself. So in like tiki-taka La Liga football, he's pretty good. Do you know what I mean for that? But he's fine in the Premier League, by the way, as well. Don't get me wrong. Like, he put in a masterclass in, you know, against the Premier League champions in the Champions League final. Absolutely no problem with him. But in terms of that kind of profile, European elite clubs have all seemingly wanted him a little bit more than Chelsea. Chelsea have been wary of losing an asset that's really desirable. And bearing in mind, a very good defender. I'm not trying to slag off Christensen here. Very, very good. And I feel like there's always been this danger. And Matt Law said Chelsea are quite wary, and they are concerned that he will go to Barcelona and be like this amazing centre-back for 10 years for them, or, you know, 8 years. Or Dortmund, and they won't get any money for him. Not so much that they'll have like a Salah, De Bruyne situation, but more the fact how they just won't get the money for this asset that will be such an important long-term asset for the new club, you know? So let's see what happens there. I'd like Christensen to resign, obviously, but really, ultimately, he's the sort of younger one. In terms of senior, it's really good to have Thiago Silva for another year, despite him pushing 40, which is mental. Rudiger is the big one. And then, you know, Jules Koundé is about the same age as Christensen, isn't he? Early mid-20s. And then you've got Colwill and stuff coming through. You know, it's going to be okay. If he goes on a free, it'll be frustrating, but we'll see what happens. Let me know what you think, actually. Comment down below your thoughts on Andreas Christensen. I think that'll be quite interesting to learn what you guys think. Right, we're going to move on. We are going to talk about Usman Dembele, which is obviously a big topic. We've spoken about him before, but the headlines won't go away from linking the Frenchman back to Chelsea to be reunited back with Thomas Tuchel. Quickly though, Robert Kennedy Nunes, I've never said his full name, Robert Kennedy Nunes Nascimento, commonly known as Kennedy, Chelsea's Brazilian fullback player. He's still only 25, he feels like he should be 29 now. We had him when he was so young. I remember him, he must have been playing in the Premier League, or in the Chelsea first team as like a 19-year-old. As like a winger or a fullback back then, I can't remember. Anyway, Chelsea have recalled him from his loan at Flamengo. Now, reading conflicting reports, apparently that he's not playing enough and they're not happy with the loan, and they'll be looking, reportedly, to loan him back out. Now, I've seen some stuff on Twitter saying Tuchel quite liked him in pre-season, and he's like, yeah, this guy can play fullback, wing-back, and then people are immediately freaking out that Kennedy is the option for like the wing back cover. Like, we tried Emerson 3 times, got rejected by Leon. I don't know if that's dead in the water. I'm keeping my eye out for that, so I'll of course keep you guys updated on football therapy. If you want up-to-date updates on the Emerson situation, make sure the bell notification's on, so when you'll get notified first when I upload. But with Kennedy, the reports are suggesting, and Nizar Kinsella said this, and I trust Naz of Goal.com. He said that he's going to be loaned out again, just to find a better loan for him for his development. He's 25 years old, and they want him to be, you know, going into his prime as a little bit more of a valued asset. But at the same time, if we are to believe Tuchel did like him in pre-season and thought, yeah, he'll do as a wing-back cover, maybe there's a chance he comes back, has a conversation with Tuchel, and plays a few games at left wing-back. Remember, Tuchel is out for the season, and if anything happens to Alonso, we are screwed. Like, even if he just gets a tight hammy and can't play for 2 games, you know, we're screwed. We really do need something. We genuinely need something. I tweeted out about Malang Sarr. I'll talk about Malang Sarr briefly now because he played so well at left back. Tuchel kind of said to Matt Law in his post-match press conference that he sees him as a left back. It's fine because he plays more of an inside channel because we play 4-4-2. So he's got someone in front of him to sort of defend as a sort of kind of wing-backy kind of player anyway. So he's like, yeah, I don't think he sees him as a wing-back. I wondered, because he did get forward quite well, but a lot of people commented on my tweet thinking his crossing and his passing was really bad. Fair enough, I wasn't paying close enough attention to that. So if that is the case, then maybe not a wing-back option, Malang Sarr, but certainly a player that can be utilised a lot. And, you know, just play left-back. If we don't have a left wing-back, let's play left-back and go back 4. Looks like we can do it. Do you know what I mean? But we'll have to see what happens with Kennedy. I'll be down looking in the comments on this video to hear people's or read people's opinions on Kennedy and the option. Like he had good games for Chelsea, Kennedy. You know, he's really technically good. But yeah, you know, when you fizzle out at a club like Newcastle, you don't necessarily feel like the solution for the champions of Europe, do you? So there is that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's end the video talking about Ousmane Dembele. Right. Usman Dembele is only 24 years old. His contract's fizzling out at Barcelona. He's on a lot of money. I don't think he wants to be there anymore. There's a lot of stuff. Chelsea have long been looking for a new forward-wide attacker, probably with the idea in their head they're going to sell one of their current ones. You can spin the wheel, but it could be, I don't think it'll be like a Hudson-Odoi, but it could be someone like a Pulisic, a Werner, or a Ziyech. You know, Pulisic will bring a lot of money, he's got great marketing value, he's an amazing player, I like him, but ultimately you've got to look at the situation, and Chelsea might sell him. Ziyech, 28, going on 29, might even be 29 now, amazing player when we play a 4-4-2 and he plays that right wing. He can be, look like the best attacker on the pitch. Doesn't mean we should keep him, not necessarily, you know. And Werner would still be highly valued in the Bundesliga as a goal scorer, yet to enter his prime. Lots of, sellable assets there, Chelsea. But, you know, is Usman Dembele the answer? Many of you in the comment section would already be typing, why would you sell Pulisic, you know, an ex-Dortmund player that always gets injured, for someone similar age, I think he's a year older than Dembele, who's always injured. Do you know what I mean? It's like a similar attacking situation. Of course, in his Tuchel's time at Dortmund, he obviously had both Pulisic and Usman Dembele. Again, Pulisic would have been a year younger, so it might have been a little bit unfair. But Dembele was light years away from Pulisic. Do you know what I mean? I've got his stats here. Dembele's best statistical season came in the 16-17 season under Thomas Tuchel, of course, at Dortmund, where he stayed healthy and played 49 games, which 49 games is a lot, but you know, Mason Mount has plays 70 games or something, doesn't he? I read, so where is it? I think he got 10 goals and 20 assists or something. I've just lost the stats. Yeah, it was amazing. He got double figures for league goals, and then he got 20 assists or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Let's have a look at his who scored quickly, just to confirm because I want to make sure you guys get the right information while I'm talking to you about a player. Otherwise, it's misleading. So in the 2016 and 17 season in all comps, yeah. So I think in all comps he got 10 goals and in all competitions. So I'm just looking at the Bundesliga here. he got a lot, basically. This is the move that got him to Barcelona for £140 million, which of course is ridiculous. It's a stupid price. It was way too much for the player, even though he was like hot topic. But they had loads of money to spend. They'd just sold Neymar. They saw a young attacking player that's put out loads of big stats, and they're like, he'll do. And it didn't work. Point being, if he's great, he also had a lot of growing up to do. He stayed up playing video games loads, and there was like training ground issues. But the people say this about loads of players that have played under Thomas Tuchel, who, by the way, seems like quite a disciplinarian. Like, he doesn't take any crap, Thomas Tuchel. Like, that's certainly the vibe that we've got when he's been here at Chelsea. But he knew how to deal with Aubameyang. You know, I think he almost like moved training times, to told Aubameyang the training time was 10 minutes earlier than it was, so he'd arrive on time, and just found these little ways to like work around him. And you know, and Aubameyang had his best ever scoring season under Thomas Tuchel at Dortmund. You know, Dembele might have not been the best behaviour, but Tuchel still got an amazing season out of him. Am I campaigning for Ousmane Dembele to come to Chelsea? No, not necessarily, but at the point now, there's a recurring theme around certainly Chelsea Twitter and Chelsea, you know, the fan base, which is give Tuchel whatever he wants. And if he says to, you know, because bearing in mind, he's done very well with a bunch of talented players, but not players that he's asked for, you know, players that he's happy to get because he's stepped into a really talented squad. Probably the best situation you can, as from a manager that's just got fired, for the new guy to drop into a squad that's had the manager fired. You won't get better than that Chelsea squad in terms of like the young talent available, and you know, you won't, like Klopp said it, you know, that Chelsea squad's a gift, you know, even though it might be dysfunctional for Tuchel and he'll want to make changes, which is now what he'll probably want to do. It was a gift, so we'll see what happens. I would prefer a lot of players over Usman Dembele purely because of the injuries, but if we get him, what do? You get excited because it's a very talented signing who has proven he can do a high productivity and output. We'll see what happens there. Alright guys, I'm going to wind it in now. Let me know what you think. I'll be keen to get your opinions, so do comment down below. Please do drop a like. See if we can go over 3,000, eh? Stack those up, please, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, there's lots going on throughout the transfer window, so keep it locked. Make sure the bell is turned on when you subscribe, and you are the first to hear the news from me. Alright mate, I'll see you soon. Peace.